What is up, everybody? Welcome back to a very special episode of The Rewind here on Wayward World Studios. I'm Thumali. That's Thumali. Get wet at the thought of you liking, commenting, and subscribing to this wonderful show and this wonderful episode. Today, we have a twofer. We have two lovely guests, two of which I'm not associated with in any way, shape, or form. They are part of Dungeons and Drag Queens, a touring drag show that tours all around the United States. One of them is the primary host and the producer of Dungeons and Drag Queens, and the other is a main cast drag queen who is a Seattle icon. Please welcome Paul Curry, Dungeon Master, and the Slasian diva of Seattle, Kylie Mooncakes. How are you doing, guys?
Hi. Which one of
So
us?
good.
Fine.
What's that?
Where's the Seattle icon?
It's you, girl.
No, girl.
Oh, thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Sorry,
Oh,
Paul. Yeah, we're in the presence of women, so
oh
Okay.
well, fair enough. Back to
yeah.
my dungeon, I guess.
How are you guys doing? This is so fun. I haven't done like a two-part interview in a long time.
Oh, this is your first threesome?
Yeah. I had a sixsome. What do you call a sixsome before? Like,
Um, the Waiting for Tonight lip sync on season 11 of RuPaul's Drag Race.
yeah, the what is it? What should you call it? Why can't I remember anything from Drag Race right now?
That is,
Um,
nothing is important from Drag Race right now.
period. Let's
Wait, did
start.
you actually have a six sum, or
Yeah,
you
yeah.
interviewed
Well,
five people?
I interviewed like six people.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, it was a local show thing, but it was the episode's deleted now because it's not part of the canon anymore.
Right.
Yeah, we had a Star Wars like Disney acquisition on the show, and anything past the drag queen era of the show has been deleted, or before that, I don't know.
That's interesting. Good lord.
Interesting.
Hmm.
I'm so curious, but let's yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, we can like go on a tangent. Did you wanna say add something, Paul?
Well, what is the show here? What is the show that got acquired by Disney and so they erased footage?
No, I'm talking about like how Disney acquired Star Wars and everything in the expanded universe like was like
Oh,
non-canon anymore.
yeah.
That's what basically what happened to this show.
Oh,
Oh,
to this show. Okay,
Yeah, yeah. That's a metaphor,
I see.
trying to be funny. I think you probably chose wrong when you chose me. I'm not that funny.
No, no. I think you're just at a different level right now. I just need to
Oh.
get up to your level.
Oh, okay. Different level. What does that
That's
mean?
why I'm drinking this Starbucks double shot. Disney, don't sue me. Okay.
That's valid. I kind of want to start with Paul because Paul is kind of the person that brought us all together. So, Paul, for the wayward artists out there, tell everybody who is Paul Curry.
Hello. My name is Paul. I'm the dungeon master for Dungeons and Drag Queens. For those of you who haven't played Dungeons and Dragons before, it means that I'm like the person who sets up the story and plays the non-player characters. I usually put a lot of work into kind of crafting this world. Oftentimes, the queens don't precisely respect the boundaries of the world, one could say. Maybe burning down a tavern or two that I've spent a lot of time kind of mapping out, but that's neither here nor there. I'm extremely happy to be coming to Spokane to get to do Dungeons and Drag Queens, and we have such a beautiful cast. You included. Kylie is going to be there. We also have Duck E. Loveless, but there'll be plenty of love. So it's going to be a blast, and it's at the Chameleon, September 20th. Starts at 8 p.m. I'm just saying this so I don't not say it, but
Oh, that's fine.
um,
You'll get a chance to say it at the end. You kind of like outroed us, so I think the episode's over now.
oh,
right.
all right. That's
Uh,
we're off to a bad
bye.
start.
Bye,
No, no, no,
everybody.
no, no, no.
No, that's so cool. I really love this show. I mean, I was an audience member when you guys came a few months ago, and like like the blend of the chaoticness of like drag queens versus like I the kind of the chaoticness that is like Dungeons and Dragons, like the like anything can happen in a Dungeons and Dragons like situation, whereas like with
Oh
drag
yeah,
queens, like anything can happen with drag queens. Like it's such a it's such a perfect combination of the two things.
yeah. it's truly like an unstoppable force meets an immovable object.
Mhm.
And it's like two vortices of chaos slamming into each other. It's yeah, it's incredible. Um, I still can't wrap my mind around it half the time.
Mhm.
There are many times that we're doing the show and a queen will say something that that gives me several mind blows. At the same time, I don't know if we can say that on camera, but yeah, it's very electrifying. I'm so happy to be able to do it. Um, but yeah, so happy to answer any questions about our show.
Nice. I'll have plenty of questions for sure. Like the first, are you rizzling? Did you just
Is
rizzle?
this?
Yeah,
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 just give a
yeah,
quick rizzle right there.
yeah.
What's that?
Sister, that's the Rizzler. Like,
Oh, I
like,
this
yeah,
doing
yeah, like that.
back in the day. We just didn't have a name for it. We just did it.
Yeah, no, the Rizzler is like very
Oh,
popular.
okay.
Yeah, like he's part of the.
He's a child who does this face.
Oh, it's
Um,
the Rizzler is a person.
Yeah, Diva. Like
yeah,
he's
he
he's
rizzes.
yeah,
Okay.
he's the, what do you call it? Part of the Costco guys universe.
Oh, powerful. I'm not familiar. I haven't seen that movie yet, but
Yeah, it's sickening, Diva. You should watch it for sure. Now, I do want to go back to Bob because like I did have a few questions before because like it'll segue into Kylie, who's been sitting here looking fabulous. But how did you get to know like some of the drag queens that you got to be associated with? Because the queens that you are associated with are like, to me anyway, are, like iconic people. Like Kylie Mooncakes for sure. Issa Man was part of your one of the first shows that you did, and also the wonderful, amazing Midori Monet, who is in Sri Lanka right now representing. Like, I love her
Wait,
so
isn't she
much.
in? I think she's in Thailand, or is she just all over the place? Is that wrong? Anyway,
What?
I
Where?
Thailand. But I think she just walked a Sri Lankan like culture inspired fashion show
Oh, okay.
in Thailand, which is like, like
Hmm.
that's some tea.
yeah, that's some international work right there. I could only hope um, to fly that that far. Um, yeah, I so the little brief history of how we met. This was a while ago, several years ago. We were at a gay bar called Our Place, which was a three-tiered gay bar. Like true, yeah. Rest in peace, because it closed. And I met Issa Man there through some random acquaintance situation, and she was on the first Dungeons and Drag Queens. She introduced me to Miss Mooncakes and to Midori Monet, who went by Tina Shay at the time, and we started the show. And yeah, there's didn't really know what we were doing at first, but it became very clear, very obvious that this was like a an excellent combination.
Yeah. And then Kylie, I want to go to you now. How did you get involved into it? Because like, yeah, forgive me if I get this like totally wrong. But like I'm also like this is part of my white side here. You're Chinese, right?
I am.
There we go. Oh, thank God. Jesus Christ.
You're
Because
Sri
like,
Lankan, right? Oh, sorry. No, go ahead.
oh, what I was gonna say, because I was watching some of your like your other videos, because I'm prepping a Kylie Moon case like one on one eventually, but like you didn't grow up in a lot of the cultural stuff, like the American cultural stuff that like is like kind of familiar with us. Like, how much did you know about Dungeons and Dragons going into it?
A little bit. I grew up here most of my life since second grade, but because also my parents were immigrants, like I didn't get like a crash course on a lot of things. They weren't showing me like they would see like the most popular American things and be like, all kids love this stuff. So go watch Harry Potter and Star Wars like the rest of them. So like I had an inkling, but I also did not really have an interest in that. And I never got into Dungeons and Dragons. And Issa had to convince me to be a part of the show. She was like, trust me, like I know it sounds nerdy and I know you don't, and I'm like, I don't play Dungeons and Dragons, but she's like, it's literally just make believe and you just talk shit on a microphone and we're just gonna fuck around and have a good time. And that's literally and that's what this is. I'd say like, yeah, we definitely did not have a clue what we were doing, but I think Issa and Tiana and I's like, like the warped drag, like stupid sense of humor. I think that was just the perfect recipe for like something as like free and like whatever you want as Dungeons and Dragons, but also like, yeah, I think it was the perfect combination. And I really feel like those first few shows, I'm so thankful that we got to do those together, as well as like various other people, because I do think that really set the groundwork for like what the comedy would be for the show and like kind of the heartbeat of like our dynamic that we still carry to this day and like whatnot.
Mhm. Oh no, that's sickening. And you guys did it like because you guys debuted in around 2020, right?
Yeah, like it was some of the
Yeah.
coming back from quarantine and everything.
Okay. So like you kind of blew up during a time where I think people are like hungry for like not only drag but like a community
Yeah,
most certainly. So like I think that like it's just a perfect combination of the two things that people needed at the time.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were based out of we were in the back of a Thai restaurant at the
Mhm.
time, called Jai Thai. There was like a little bar area. They had a little stage.
Rest in peace,
So we
Red
would,
Eye. Rest in peace. Rest.
yeah, Jai Thai closed as well. Venues closing.
Mm.
Stop
Mhm.
closing. We had a 6 foot table that we would try and fit on this tiny stage. Did not fit. One time it just fell over. Thankfully, yeah, nobody was in I don't think anyone was in the front row. Um, but or they aren't anymore.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah.
No, that's sickening.
it was
What
wild.
when did the idea of like incorporating local talent to the shows come into? Like, was it like when you guys started like touring eventually? Like, is where because Kylie, you're part of like kind of the main cast of Dungeons and
Yeah.
Drag Queens, I would say. But
Yeah.
like, when did
Well,
that idea come in?
because Paul was based in Seattle and so were we all. So yeah, it was always like a Seattle local show, and I feel like it only started touring like this past year.
Okay, so yeah, but the idea to have like local queens is that just because like a lot of you guys weren't available and stuff like that, so you had to like fill in the spaces.
I definitely
Well,
think.
yeah, I mean, oh, go ahead.
Oh, I mean, like Paul would literally have to pay like for our plane tickets if that was the case. So I do think it was like a more smarter logistical choice to have local performers from the different cities they tour to. Because I feel like Dungeon and Drag Queens, D&DQ, does not necessarily always feel like specifically a drag show, and it doesn't feel like specifically like a Dungeons and Dragons show. It very much feels like its own very like chaotic, stupid thing itself.
Yeah, and it's not just like it definitely saves a lot of money and time. We are like the barest bones show that you could think of. But also I really like the kind of the local flavor that talent has. They often have a finger on the pulse of what's funny in their kind of local area, and so they bring kind of this specific flavor to the show because they're performing around these audiences. So, and often like these are their audiences that are coming to our show to see them doing this new show. So yeah, we have a ton of respect for like local talent, and I think moving forward, we are definitely trying in situations where we can to like incorporate people from the local scene. And because each show is a one shot, and so each story is new every single time. I mean, anyone can come in at any time and be part of the arc. It's not you wouldn't be dropping in as a guest. You're kind of the main character for the night.
Mhm.
Mhm. No, I love that. And it just spreads the word of like what you guys do, essentially. Like you get more and more people, you get amazing guests. I mean, I was very jealous because like you guys came one time when Miss Mamshi was in Spokane.
As Mamshi in Spokane is like such a crazy concept, and I love that so much. Like,
I it broke my heart. I love Miss Mamshi.
oh,
Yeah. What was it like working with her? Can you like just give me a little bit about working with Miss Mamshi because I'm such a fan.
I have been a fan for a really long time, and it was definitely like when Paul was asking for New York queens to like recommend for to be a part of the show, I think all of us in the group chat were like, "Ma'am, she like funny, she's witty, and she's honestly like just like that in person. Like her persona, it's both like a mixture of campy and silly and dumb, but also just like very chill. Like she is a chill girl, and I love that about her. She doesn't feel like I don't know, like I think what I like about a lot of drag queens is how like down to earth they can be. Actually, that's not necessarily true. But I'm grateful for the a lot of the drag queens we work with. Like Mamshi and Lil Peace, and I think of like Neutrogena. I don't know, they're so funny. And I feel like a lot of them they have all these like viral moments, but I like that it doesn't really affect them. They're just like we just like to do what we do and be silly and fun.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
How about you,
Yeah,
Paul, as a dungeon master working with some of these legends?
I'm, I it's very, very fun. Um, when I get to improvise with Mamshi, one thing that I love about her is that she really, really goes with the flow. You could have the world like collapse, implode, and she'd be like, "Oh, oh no! Well, I better get to high ground." Like she just doesn't like nothing truly phases her. And and she has a knack for saying like 4 or 5 words that are just kind of really perfectly encapsulate the moment succinctly. And so that's just like a joy to play with. Um, and she brings a really chill energy, and it's so great to be able to work with queens from all over the country because there's really different vibes. Like I find that, PNW queens, they can be kind of more, I would say, um, like biting. They can really read. They have, yeah, like this kind of like a sardonic kind of sarcasm to them. East Coast queens, definitely super witty. I think that they kind of have this like they have like a camp energy as well. I mean, not to say that this is like everybody has their own energy, obviously, but it's just cool to be able to like see all people from all over the country. I think like Little Piece, for example, is just like this ball of energy, like a true like a just a wrecking ball, basically. Like wherever she goes, it's just like there's just like stuff happening. um it's such a joy to see her chaotic energy interact with Mamshi's energy because they're both kind of on the same page in terms of when they do performances, but um, they interact so well because Little Piece's reaction is going to be like 15 out of 10, and then Mamshi is going to be just this solid level calmness that's
Mm.
so funny. um and yeah, we're actually having them on our we're doing an East Coast leg of our season in October. So we're going to be, and actually late September. So on the 27th, we're going to be in Chicago. And there's going to be Neutral Gina, who's also extremely funny, and Evangeline, and yours truly, Miss Mooncakes. Uh, and then we're doing New York on the 11th and 12th, and that will feature Mamshi and Little Piece and the always delightful Sherry Poppins, who has her own, like, I want to call it like this athleticism. I feel like that's like she's impressive to me, just the way that she navigates um, the environments in the world that I can put her through. Um, and she's funny, and she pairs with Mamshi really well. I mean, all this to say, all this gushing is just to say, every single show, there's this blend of personalities, and they're all fighting me pretty much during the show, and it's just this beautiful back and forth that I think is a delight to watch and play.
Yeah. Shout out to Sherry Poppins. I love her so much. I also love her partner, Show Pony, who's also amazing.
Uh,
Um, yeah, they're both so great. And Evangeline, I've had Evangeline on the show, and she could just talk all day. I love that diva.
it
Yeah,
really
she's.
a
Oh, go
blessing.
ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say it does really feel like a blessing to be able to like work with so many of these divas, and I am really like thankful to DNDQ for like kind of allowing me some opportunities to travel more and to like work with people that I've always wanted to and have never gotten a chance to. So
Hmm.
thank you,
Yeah.
Paul.
Yeah, well, for you, Kylie, it's a little bit different for you than just a regular drag show because like there is the numbers, like the
Mhm.
critical roles that we're gonna
Which
have to
which
do.
we knew we didn't do that for the longest time either.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I'm glad you do because like I get to do my first lip sync performance, which is
Yeah,
like
oh,
crazy.
that's so exciting.
Yeah, but yeah, you get to interact with these queens in a much different capacity than you would in just like, oh yeah, here's one number, the host
Mhm.
comes out, does her thing, then number two,
Mhm.
and we're all done for the day. You actually get to stay on stage and like kind of have like a repertoire with them for a little bit.
Yeah, honestly, I really love it. It feels like what I love about D&DQ is that sometimes it literally does feel like I get paid to just like kiki with the girls for an hour in like our little make-believe world. Because like yeah, sometimes a drag show is that and like divas are tired or like they're in between gigs or they're, just came off of a 8-hour shift and had to get into drag. So many times they kind of like in so many different shows, like we get there, we do the number, and then like we're kind of just silent in the back because we're just so like dead and frazzled from the world. So it's almost nice to be like forced into a kiki with them, if that makes sense. Just
No,
like to have the space to like sit on stage. And I think the all the performers really like appreciate the format of the show as well. Like I think a lot of them do like look forward to it now because it's like, oh, I'm going to this gig, but it's just to like sit there and talk and have a drink and bully this like random twink on stage. Like how fun is that, you know?
yeah, we love
Yeah,
to bully a twink. Like it's so amazing.
always.
Hmm.
And the
Um,
twink can bully back because the
he
twink
ca-
has control of the world.
Not well.
Well, I, there could be a landslide at any time. There might be a landslide in this upcoming show. Depends on if you're on the landslidable land.
mhm.
Depends on if you put tsunami back on my spell list or not.
I thought you asked for that to be removed,
I would
didn't you?
never, why would I ever do that?
I don't know. I remember you said choose something besides tsunami. I don't know. I could
I
put tsunami back. You could choose. You can
not do
choose to
that.
prepare tsunami. This is
I
why I
did.
need to play an actual. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I
Okay.
don't think that sorceress's prepare spell. I think that's a warlock thing, but maybe I'm wrong. Um,
Mhm. Dang, you're
I,
really rude to the
I
dolls, Paul. Is he always this transphobic?
yes.
Oh
That's the thing.
wow.
That's the thing. And anyone watching has feedback forms in the end of every other show. Feedback form. Paul is transphobic, and I want to see it stop.
that okay. We've never gotten that feedback. The closest might have been the Shrek's. No, anyway, the there's no feedback like that. I'm completely I'm transparent, I would say, with how I run the show and um
Never parented in your life.
I that's well, that's I have a cat who I would consider to be a baby of sorts, a very sharp one, but yeah. Um, so we get into it, but at the end of the day, um, it's all about the adventure.
Mhm.
And I second Kylie's notion of these are people just hanging out pretty much, and you get to see that. You don't get to see that very often, I think, unless it's like through video and media and stuff like that, to just see like very raw conversation, and improv and interaction between queens. So it's very delightful. um, yeah, and sometimes we definitely spar on stage. I mean, that's part of the dynamic of the show, which is really, really fun. Um, it's not like real, I guess. It's not like a serious thing. I don't think so. I think
It's
we just
it's very
it's
serious.
real. It's real to you. It's
Yeah,
real
yeah,
to you that tsunami's not okay. Fair
yeah.
enough. Well, all right. I
So
can't
serious.
even tell.
Every single thing.
Okay. Yeah. Well, can't tell. Still can't tell. Um, So, yeah, we're having a blast. We're always, if you see a reel and I'm like flustered, I'm having a blast.
Oh yeah, no, I mean like it's all in jest, and I think like that's just the thing about drag queens. Like it's all in love, like the shade and everything. It's everybody say love. That's what RuPaul always says.
Yeah, I feel like drag culture does like imply a very unseriousness to it, which I think that's what really makes it a perfect combo with D&D.
Hmm. Going back to your cast, Paul, especially like casting local divas, because we talked about, Lil Peace and Miss Mamshi, Sherry Poppins. Like these are people that, if you're really into the drag scene, you kind of like get an idea of like their personality and who they are as like performers. When you see someone like me specifically, because like I'm in the show, I've never like I have a few outfits in drag. I've not performed or lip synced in drag before. I am a theater major, so like I've done improv before. What are you looking for specifically when it comes to picking your cast? Because you also have Ducky Loveless, who was in the show last time, but she was also new to doing her part of the show when you guys were here a few months ago. So I'm just kind of curious about what do you look for when it comes to an audition for the show, and how can people audition?
Yeah, this is all good questions. So firstly, if you want to audition for the show, just hit us up on Instagram or wherever. We are happy to audition anyone who wants to be auditioned, I would say. Um, the and that just kind of puts you into the like pool of the casts that we may pull from when we're booking shows. We have kind of a our kind of playbook now or whatever is that like we always audition someone before we have them on the show. Um, just because we want to like see how they interact. And even if we really want to have someone, we also want to give them the experience of doing the show before they do the show. So it kind of does two things. Then like what we're looking for specifically, I usually do the auditions. Um, but I'm trying to channel preferences that I've talked about with my production team. That includes Kylie and Carson. The but It's pretty much improv. It's pretty much improv skills. It's not actually like game knowledge, which is kind of surprising. You would think it would be like, oh, who's really good at D&D? Who like gets D&D? But that's not it at all. It's who gets like improvisation, because it doesn't because in D&D, especially in D&D Q, you can do whatever, like whatever you want in this world, you can try. So the just the ability to be kind of confined into a room and think of ways to get out of the room. That's one like big thing. There's also the like planting your flag, being very confident in like the decisions that you're going to make. Um, and a big thing is like theater of the mind because the game is a bit different than normal D&D in that there's no map, right? So everything is you're just keeping track of in your head, and it's like card counting in poker. I mean, it's a pretty ridiculous thing to ask people to do on stage is to like be improvising and also listening to me describe a world that they have to keep track of in their head about where they are. Stuff is going to like slip. You're not going to be entirely certain where things are. But I find that queens who are like really solid at improvisation, they're like Miss Famshi about it. They're like, whatever, like I'm going to do my best with what I know. And they ask questions and stuff like that. So it's kind of those skills. It's like theater of the mind, that general kind of confidence, and then the creativity for problem solving in this imaginary space. I think that
Wow.
those are like the three big things.
Yeah, you're asking a lot of drag queens. They already
I
can't like
know.
Right.
yeah, that's too much.
Listening, thinking,
Hmm.
using the mind. No.
Well, I mean, I we're all doing a lot of stuff. I mean, I'm like our musician Carson, he's composing a live score for the show. So he's listening to what's happening and trying to like accent it with drama. He does a really good job. A really good job of it. I mean, we get comments and stuff where people are like what track were you playing? It's like we weren't there's no track. Like that's just
Right there.
Carson. Yeah. And I'm also like I have this whole multimedia setup where I'm like showing pictures and rolling die and stuff like that on the screen, and so I'm like commanding that as I'm doing improv as well. So everyone's kind of like working kind of at 150%, I think, when we're on stage, um, to do our best, and we do our best. We do the best.
Mhm. Do you want to add to that, Kylie, as someone who like performs often in the show?
Yeah, what was the question again?
You see, listening is not there. You're really asking a lot of people, a
Got
lot
me
from
there.
drag queens.
You got me there.
Yeah,
Um, wait, what was it? Sorry. I'm like, wait,
girl,
what?
how do you keep track of like the theater of the mind aspect of it? Like how like is it, do you find that challenging? Like
Um, Honestly, yes and no, because I think at the end of the day, Paul does a really good job of like, you have now entered the forest, you have fallen down a hole and you are underground, like, so he does his best to like keep us like, aware of what we're doing. But sometimes it really does get hard, especially because like at the shows, the bars are kind and they give us drinks. And, sometimes the queens, like we love our recreational activities before the show. So like,
yeah, I
yes, and you know what I mean? Sometimes it's just real,
mhm,
yes.
yeah.
And
Well,
and
it's just part of the bit though. Like you could just like yeah, I don't remember what it is. I remember like during the audition and stuff, like Paul mentioned all these names of like the book of such and such. I don't remember. Yeah, and
yeah.
I'm just like, wait, what did he call that thing again? And I'm just
That's
like,
what trips us up a lot. That's what
mhm,
trips us up a lot. The random names, and sometimes like Paul will say something, and like the queens will be like, "The what a what?" And
mhm,
he's like, "The guy that's been here the entire story that I've mentioned like 32 times and is your ally and is da 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 da." But I think I'd like to hope that it's part of the endearing charm that we bring to the show as well. We're just girls, and sometimes we forget things, and
yeah. That was actually my first time like doing that audition. Like that was my first time playing D&D.
it's
Like
most of
and
the way. It is.
no, it was so much fun. Like
Mhm.
I was
Oh,
surprised how
good,
much I
good.
enjoyed it. So, I mean,
Nice, nice.
I hope I liked it. I mean, like I'm gonna be a part of it in a week or something. So,
Yeah.
uh,
It's not usually how D&D is played with just like one dungeon master and one player, just back and forth. But yeah,
right.
it kind of gives you a taste of what that's like. Uh, and to second Kylie, like, yeah, I mean, one of the great things about the show is that like it's like the some of the flaws or features like I honestly we're still parsing this out. It's kind of like we're running into this mixture of humor styles, and we're trying to understand why it's funny like as we're doing it. But like for example, the queen's neglecting this character, that happens every so often, and it becomes this really funny interaction where this character has been here the whole time as indignation, which is kind of channeled by me as the dungeon master. So like it's the character speaking as the dungeon master, but also as a character who feels neglected by the group. And so it is both like in the world that could happen. You could have these queens that are just so absorbed in whatever they're doing that they actually do not care about this character over here because they're queens. It's a fantasy world. Like who knows what these people are like and what they do. Um, but then there's also this like meta commentary of like the DM being frustrated that their world isn't being like respected and stuff like that. But maybe their world doesn't deserve respect, or maybe it does. Maybe it does. Maybe they do put a lot of work in. Who knows? It's that ambiguity that's like constantly at play. And I find it so so funny personally. But
Yeah, it kind of really does feel like Scooby-Doo in a sense, like this ragtag team of people who are all doing something completely different with like pretty different objectives, yet we're all part of the same story. And sometimes at the end we pull the mask off and we find out who it is, you know?
Yeah. Do you respect the world that Paul creates, Kylie?
Why would I?
No, that's fair. Yeah.
Hey, well, there are different levels of respect. You're not like you don't just fall through the ground.
But I do.
That I am see. I mean, unless you count that time you wild shaped into a mole. That's the closest I could think. But
I really ate that, didn't I? But yes. No, I think Paul also does a great job of, because usually a lot of times it is the queens that are the catalyst for the chaos and the mishaps and the not understanding anything going on. And I will say one of Paul's best talents is genuinely like not he never like tries to like reel us in. He'll just literally work with it. He'll be like, and as the queens bicker, this happens and da 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 da. And yeah. I oftentimes like you will find clips of us literally in the middle of the show being like, "Oh, Paul, you kind of ate that." Like
Mhm.
okay, yeah, we were really going out there, but you really like you ate that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Speaking of clips, I forgot to mention this before we recorded, but I do have a clip that I'm going to show. You're not going to see it right now as you're recording, so it's going to be a surprise. I'm going to be pulling it from Instagram, but the viewers right now will get to see a clip from Dungeons and Drag Queens. And we're back. Yeah, that's through the magic of editing, we got to see a lovely clip. How did you guys like that clip? Did you
Comment
guys
down
ape?
below. Let us know what you think.
I didn't see the. I did not. I didn't know what the clip was. I didn't see the. It was great. It was good. It was.
Yeah.
I thought we
It
did
was
great.
best.
Just eat and pretend that I just showed
I
you a
feel
beautiful clip.
I feel like we
That,
ate. I'm proud of us.
Hmm.
We locked in.
it must be hard to stand on that table. I know what you're thinking. It must be hard to stand, but I
Hmm.
have a bit of balance. But when the table got flipped, I didn't know what to say. So
Going back to the logistics of the show, when did you guys, well, I guess Paul specifically, but when did you get the idea of like touring the show? Because like touring is very expensive, as you mentioned earlier. But so like, how did you get the idea of like, oh, let's take this to like other cities? Specifically, a lot of the shows come to the Pacific Northwest like area, so like Washington, Oregon. I don't know if you've gone to Idaho or whatever, but
yeah, we have not gone to Boise, Idaho, although we would like to
Uh,
at some point. Um,
I was born in
yeah, or Cornell. Wait, what did you say?
I was born in Idaho. Did you know?
Oh, yeah. What was
I,
it?
let me
Were
not
you,
drop too much of my lore right now. Let me not. Let me not. Like,
yeah.
This is
Well,
not. This is. I'm not rizzlering. I'm thinking. Okay. Anyway. Yeah. Good question. I think the first time we toured or we went out of like a specific venue was when we did uh Nate Jackson's Super Funny Comedy Club in Tacoma.
oh,
Um,
wow.
and I think I think I was just like, I feel like all creatives have this where you just have this kind of like internal drive to produce stuff for the universe. Um, despite no one's asking for it really, you're just kind of presenting it to the world. So that's kind of the feeling I think I had where I was like, show should be over here now as well. And so we hit up Nate Jackson, who's a super funny comedian, hence the name of the comedy club. And they have a new place in Tacoma, so check it out. It's quite nice. But yeah, we did that as a brunch show because I think me and Carson at the time were thinking. I don't know if Carson was on the production team at this point. I think he was. Um, but he was like, yeah, we should do a brunch show. This is perfect for brunch, right? You can sit, you can eat, you can listen to the stuff going on, you know what I mean? So we brought it there, and then it's kind of, Carson handles a lot of the touring stuff, logistics wise. He contacts venues across the country, does a lot of the accounting. Really, touring is just like a numbers game. It's like, you want to go to someplace, you want to put on a show someplace, can you afford that? It's like that ends up being it pretty much all the time. Like if there was no money in the world or we were infinitely wealthy or whatever, I mean, we would go to so many places, every we're constantly basically saying no to doing shows all over the country. Um, But yeah, I mean, hopefully as the show grows and we get more resources or whatever, we can bring it around town and work with tons of other queens and explore other locations and just have a little adventure for the adventure.
Yeah. What was your favorite area to perform in? Like, I'm sure all of them have like their perks, but like, is there a specific area that you guys like performing in? How about from the both of you? One from Paul and one from Kylie, because Kylie hasn't done all the cities probably.
Not yet. Soon,
Yeah.
soon.
Mhm.
Um,
Oh,
you go ahead first. You go ahead.
okay. Um, Great question. Great question. Let me think. Favorite city? I mean, New York is always wild. I don't like understand New York as a concept, I think. Like as a place where people live, it doesn't kind of make sense to me. But the people who do live there are tend to be very awesome. And so in the we had like a show at think the first show we did was at the Soho Playhouse, and that audience was like super, super kind, and definitely like down to clown with us. Which is I didn't know because I had all these preconceived notions about like a New York audience where we're gonna be like, oh my God, they're all gonna write for the Times and they're all just gonna like hate us because we're like random out of town people. But nah, they were like hell yeah, like this is great. We love this, and we're gonna like cheer and participate and all sorts of stuff. I think so. New York. I think honestly Seattle as well. We've had Seattle audiences that like are really kind and like really down. It kind of depends on the venue and like what we're doing. Oh, and Tacoma. Tacoma's like super super different energy, but also like really like interested in participating and playing because there's a lot of audience participation in the show. Like, I mean, you're not only doing like ambient sounds every so often, but sometimes we have people like shout out things and like I'll ask for suggestions and things like that. We've had audience members play characters and stuff like that. So, not to go on a big tangent, but my point being is that that's the frame of reference that I'm coming from. Like, which audience really played into the game with us, you know?
Mhm. How about you, Kylie?
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I haven't really done a lot of shows outside the Pacific Northwest. I think in the Pacific Northwest, though, I do love Seattle and Tacoma. I feel like, they feel like hometown shows. They're the audiences that like are most familiar with us. We have a lot of people saying like, "Oh, I've been to like every single show," or "I've been to like so many of y'all's shows. I remember that you used to do this." I had audience members at the last Seattle show we did being like, "Put Tsunami back on the spell sheet. Hello."
Mhm.
So yeah, I really do feel like it's this like home buddy vibe that we have. And actually, I think outside the Pacific Northwest, the only show I've done so far is in New York in Manhattan at the Caveat. But that was a super fun show. I'm so bad at names. I forgot the other person that was there with me, Amamshi. But it was such a good time. That audience was really fun too. I remember like over here was like a bridal shower and they were yelling things at us, and like right here was like a really cute guy and he had like a lot of really fun ideas too. And like yeah. It was a really good time. So I'll always try, but I can't wait to be back. Yeah. And
We
I'm
we do it. Oh,
oh
go ahead.
this month, which I'm really hyped for. I feel like that's gonna be an insane show. And we're gonna be at Roscoe's, which is like, like
Oh,
drag world like iconography.
yeah, you get to see Naisha Lopez.
I'm coming for her gig actually. I'll be doing the Queens next.
Yes, I love that. No, Naisha's really nice. I've met her and like she's actually really
I'm
nice.
sure it is in ways at
Yeah.
times.
What was that?
Huh?
What did you say?
What'd you say?
I don't know. What did you say?
Nothing at all.
I
Okay.
will say the show. Okay, the drag audience in for the show in Brooklyn at Come On Everybody is definitely the most like I would say in the culture like
Hmm.
audience. Like they're when the queens have done Come On Everybody, they I feel like they're speaking like a different language to me because like I'm not completely immersed into like drag culture, but I feel like the people at Come On Everybody Brooklyn, I mean they are like they're just like total they get all the references. I mean, I think they like line by line know everything said on RuPaul's verbatim. Like they just have that in their collective memory. Um, and then also, Spokane has been tea as well. We've done Spokane for a really long time, and Spokane has always been super friendly and super down. Um, like I think we're kind of like getting like an audience in Spokane. I mean, I think we do have an audience in Spokane, but like we're kind of getting people accustomed to the show and stuff like that. And so we're always really happy to see like new faces and stuff like that. And yeah.
Yeah. I feel like what makes Spokane so special is like there's obviously drag there, but I feel like cities that don't have like as much of a frequency of drag events happening, when people go out, it really does feel like kind of like a special moment for them. You know what I mean? It's like I like plan my week around seeing this drag show and I've been looking forward to it, like all month or whatever. So that really feels so special to kind of like be able to give to those people.
Girl, when events like this come into town, all the fags from Spokane come into town. Like you see everybody.
Yeah, like yeah.
Like, yeah, I just like it's so funny. It's just like you just see the random like sniffy hookup, like he's there.
Uh,
Literally, like they just like they all come out of the woodworks.
nice. And I'm from that
Mhm.
area, so it actually feels really special to be able to tap in and be like, hey, like this could have been like where I'd be performing if I stayed here and still decided to do drag.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're in Seattle, actually. Yeah,
Oh,
like we need your star. Like we need your star to shine the brightest,
okay,
honestly.
thank you.
Yeah. But like going into Spokane and like me knowing like the scene here too, it's like, yeah, we don't really get a lot of um big events like this. I mean, like um once in a while we'll get like the Jinx Monsoon show or whatever, or whatever Murray and Paul and Murray, I forget what they're called. They do all the drag tours, like the Christmas show and all that. Sometimes we'll
Oh,
get them.
I know what you're talking about. I don't know.
Murray and Peter, not Murray and Paul. Like
Yeah,
Murray and Peter. Sorry, Paul. Yeah, we said your name a bunch of times. It's not you.
No, yeah, I don't know Murray.
Yeah,
I'd like to know Murray though.
yeah. Murray and Peter. Sometimes we'll get those shows, but it's like I feel like it's if Spokane wants to see more drag, like in all of its forms, like they gotta support shows like this. And I'm very
mm,
blessed to like be a part of this, like as an entertainer now. Like this is gonna be my first time
we're
in
blessed to
five.
have you.
Thank you. I
Yes.
love it. Yeah. And like this will be the first time I've ever performed in 5 years. Like I quit theater. Long story short, like it was just a whole career thing, and that's why I started doing the show, is because like I found purpose in this, and it's getting really popular in the nightlife scene so far. So I'm really like happy about that. Um, but now I get to not only be in drag for this whole thing, but like to actually have an opportunity to perform like this. Like most people just do, like people like me would just do like an amateur show, or a tip spot or something like that. To like be a part of something like as professional as this is like, oh, this is a touring show. Like,
Wow, we're professional. That is so nice.
Oh,
That is so
I'll,
nice.
I will say,
just
like
call
I'll
my
give
mom.
I'll give Paul his kudos. Like it has been a very tight ship so far, so I'm
Oh
very
yeah.
respect that.
Oh, thank you. Thank
Mm.
you. Well, we're tightening up this ship all the time. Used to be a real loosey goosey ship.
Mm.
But 3 years and we've just don't get hey, but anyway.
Three?
Yeah, this show's been happening 3 years, I think.
I feel like it's been four.
Four? Oh, you know what? I don't know. I just turned 30. I don't know what time is anymore. Um,
Didn't you guys start in 2020? Wouldn't it have been like 5 years?
I feel like it was end of 20 May I think beginning of 2021. So like we were just kind of like getting out of quarantine and it was like October 2021 I would guesstimate.
Well, you better figure it
yeah, I
out,
think
Paul.
so
Your
too.
anniversary's coming.
It could be
Yeah.
or make that shit up, yeah.
Um,
Mama, let's reset.
yeah. Oh shoot. What was I saying? It just oh my God. I totally spaced. Um, oh, well, you're performing right now.
Yeah.
You've been performing on this podcast for,
Uh,
as long as it's been going on.
she's an on-screen actor.
I try.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bag Afra.
Fag Afra. Sickening. I love that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, no, I mean, like, yeah, I consider this a performance, almost in a way, even though, like, I try to be my authentic self, but, I am turning on a character whenever I'm doing the show. So, like, in a lot of ways, I was more of a producer myself, directing and all that. So I'm more comfortable in that zone. But no, I am very excited. There is one more aspect, and we're kind of like we're getting closer to the end. But I do want to talk about Carson because Carson's a very big important part of Dungeons and Drag Queens, being the improvisational musician of the show. Like, how did you meet um, Carson? And he also introduced you to the audience of Spokane because he is from here.
Yes. Well, let's see. Carson Cutter, incredible musician. You can find him at Berlin 1990 on Insta. Um, he
His
I
music.
knew he does music. Yes, does a lot of music. Um, I met him through a comedy friend of mine. So I do stand up comedy, and there's a friend of mine named Nikita Oster who was roommates with Carson in New York when they were going to NYU. So that's how I met him. And he was very into adventure, and he was very into trying new things. And so I was like, hey, let's like, do you want to improvise music for the show? Because I always felt that the show needed improvised music happening during it. Like from the get go, it was like integral part of this. Um, it originally actually wasn't. He was not doing music for Dungeons and Dragons. He was doing music for a show called D&D LOL, which was just comedians playing Dungeons and Dragons. We did a special version of D&D LOL called Dungeons and Drag Queens, and then we were like, let's just go with this one. Um, and yeah, he came in as a producer um, after a little bit. And Kylie recently came in as a producer as well, very recently. So our team has been growing. And yeah, it's incredible to watch as he's grown, as he's introduced new instruments, new sounds. It's sometimes just like breathtaking what he's able to put together on the fly. And there's some epic and like good music that like comes out of this improv, which is always like delightful, and you don't really expect it from just like a live score, but then like he comes out with a banger. He's just making a banger, and you're like, oh my god, it's a
He
banger.
recording these and like putting them on streaming or something. Because honestly, I feel like that would do well. No shade.
Yes, yeah, no, that's true. That's true. We thought about it, but we haven't done it because we're doing a million things. But we should have the soundtrack of the show on Spotify. Um, yeah. And so he's been great. And yeah, unfortunately, he has a baby right now. Spoiler
Oh,
alert, don't mean to dox his baby status, but so he was unable to join us on this wonderful interview. He's taking care of a young life.
It's a
But
precious
it's
young.
a very precious baby, huge precious rating on the baby. But yeah, he's fun. He's a good friend of mine too. So we're good friends outside the show. But yeah, that's how I met Carson. Um,
yeah. Like, I'm very curious to know, like, what exactly is improvisational music? Like, can you tell me, like, an example of that? Like, in case someone was, like, listening to the show and they haven't heard what improvisational music is.
yeah, I mean, I'll try and do it justice. He obviously could provide a much more in-depth explanation to what he's actually doing when he's on stage, but it's kind of as it sounds. It's like, uh, we're doing improv. So the queens are interacting in this world. I'm interacting as NPCs, and I'm also constructing some elements of the world that aren't, written. And he is doing the same, but with sound, with the soundscape. So that usually looks like, at the beginning of the show, the queens are kind of starting off on their quest. They're going through a meadow, and he's playing some kind of like, upbeat, like start of adventure music with a kind of a cheery, epic sound to it. They queens like they fight a giant burrowing mole monster, and Carson starts playing like you know combat music. Things get a little dark, things get a little intense. Maybe then the queens go into the mole man's lair, and now things are dank and they're echoing, and they're like, he has an electric violin. Uh,
Mhm.
which buried the headline on that. But and he'll like trigger a reverb on that, so it's kind of you get this sense of space. And then at the time in the second act, if we're doing a second act, like sometimes we don't have an intermission, but usually we have like an intermission, then we kind of have the second act of the show. He just like goes for it. Like it just gets the energy gets ramped up like 2x. He's
Mhm.
just blasted on the violin and the drum machine. And I don't know, he sometimes he's even brought a saxophone to the show before and played just like a live saxophone. So his setup changes, but yeah, it's really cool. I think I'm doing it. I think I'm describing it, accurately. There are common motifs that he'll like work um, into the show. Like there is like a motif of Dungeons and Drag Queens that he plays that you might recognize worked into different pieces. But for the most part, I mean, it's like it's going to be some new sound every single time, which is cool. New sound, new story.
He's so talented. It really is like such an important part, I think, of the world building of the game too. Because if you didn't have him, it would just be like four gay people talking on the stage. But it really brings the drama. Like, like Paul will like reveal a big secret, and then like the strings go, like
Mhm.
something crazy, and then like Paul makes it all tense, and then there's like a random drum beat that comes in that's like it's really so crazy, and I'm always so impressed by how on top of it he is, and how like yeah, he's just so quick. Because I feel like I don't know, I guess that only comes with experience, because I feel like if I were thrown into that, I like it would just be so slow. I just would not know how to keep up, because it's a really fast-paced show too. We're so dumb that
Mhm.
there's a lot to keep up with.
Yeah. You don't think you can like do your own mixes, Kylie, be an improvisational
You know
musician?
what? You know what? Yeah, let retract that. Edit that
Yeah.
out of the
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
Next time I'm doing the music.
DJ
Yeah.
Mooncakes.
DJ Mooncakes.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
the cat and it's the cat's eye. You're doing the cat's eye dance.
Exactly. Not really. Yeah, exactly. You get it.
All the songs are just milkshake.
Please. Oh my God. Yes. Exactly. You get it.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you gonna throw in milkshake for Kylie Paul? Have you talked to Carson about that?
So the way we do numbers is slightly different.
That's fair.
The so like Carson doesn't actually play the numbers. Actually, what we're trying to do.
Imagine, imagine if he did. I think I did Water by Tyler last time in Spokane. Imagine if
Yeah.
he was like singing it, and like next show, Spokane, get ready. Yeah, send in your music now so Carson can learn it.
Mhm. Um, the way that numbers work is that they're played like numbers at a drag show, so it's like pre-recorded and then lip synced and danced to. Um, and we've played around with different ways to like trigger the numbers. The numbers they always form the kind of same like thing in the story in the game where it's random. The queens can decide whenever they want to do a number, and it's kind of the wish of the D&D, if you're familiar with that spell. Like you do a number and you get advantage on a roll, you do a number and something that was seemingly impossible becomes possible. It's just like it's a way for queens to demonstrate their true power. In the world, the number is kind of the ultimate spell of the queens, like the like hydrogen bomb of their like spell casting kit. And we it's a little intense. All right. The very fun, cool, big happy time explosion of their spell. And they uh, we've been trying out using a thing where the queens can actually trigger their own numbers like on a device, like on an iPad. Like they're just going to be able to click and like be able to do their number. Um,
We did not get the iPad set up in time though last time.
no, no, we needed a headphone jack in order for it to work. So hey, the ship is tight, but there's still leaks every so often in the tight ship. Um, but yeah,
Yes.
Oh no, that's
yes.
fun. No, I'm excited for the number. I think that's the most thing I've been stressing out about is because like I have all these songs in my brain. I'm
Um,
like, I want to do all of them, but I know I can't.
you can definitely send in a few options and then like pick like as the story's happening, you can like pick the one that you want to, like Paul hit it track 3, or something, like
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
But I do
Interesting.
not a decisive gal, so yeah.
How do you remember which track number it is? Have you screwed that up before?
I hope for the best, and sometimes Paul will screw it up. Yes.
You screwed that. You've not known the track. I
And
wasn't gonna say anything, and then you
Paul will
threw it
definitely
on me.
and Paul will definitely screw it up.
I
Um,
well, I've screwed it up. I won't deny that. But you've also stood up and been like, I don't remember which track hit it.
well,
Yeah.
yes. But yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes I'll write it on the sheet. Sometimes I'll have my phone on stage so I can like look at the email. But sometimes you just hope for the best. You hope
I
for the
see.
best.
It-
I love that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, we're getting better at it. It's a relatively newer feature of the show, but it's so fun. It's so important.
It's fun. The audience really loves it too. And it's nice to like be able to offer something that does provide like if you want more of that like drag show experience too.
Mhm. Yeah.
Mm.
I have one more question for you, Kylie, and then like I have two more questions for you, Paul. Not to play favoritism here, but Kylie, what can we expect from you coming into Spokane? Like without
Ooh.
revealing too much, like how are you preparing for the show coming up?
I think with any D&DQ show, you can always expect the unexpected because I still don't have a fucking clue what I'm doing in the show. I still don't know how to play D&D, to be honest. Today earlier in the interview, I just learned that the regular D&D games have a map. I'm like, maybe we should have a map actually so we can know where the fuck we are. But anyway, um, what to expect? Honestly, Honestly, I think the attitude I always go into D&DQ with is just like I want to have a good time. I want to make sure the audience has a good time, and I also like because I guess I am one of the more like regular performers on the show now. Like I want whoever the guests are to have a good time. So I feel like that's so lame to say, but like good vibes. I feel like I just want to like inject the show with like a good vibe, a loosey goosey time with the tight shit. Um, that's it. I feel like I don't know how to answer that actually. I'm still
No,
just warm.
no,
I'm you might get the number one song on the Billboard Hot 100 right now. A little
mhm,
K-pop number, or you might get something totally different. I might do Tyler Water again. I might
yeah.
not. I might. I
Girl,
might.
I feel like you're gonna do milkshake. You've been really into
Oh,
the
is that
cat's
what
eye.
you know what? Maybe I will. Maybe I will. Will the people of Spokane be culturally tapped in enough to understand?
I don't know. I don't care really.
Put it on the list. Put it on the list, Paul. Yes.
Okay. I'll put it
Yeah,
next to Tsunami.
Right, right, right.
exactly.
Shout out to Lise, my girl.
And then the question for you, Paul, is you've been dipping your toes into posting like the shows, recording them um on like YouTube and podcast services and stuff like that, like having a live stream experience. I noticed that like there's not a lot of them on there, like specifically like the Spokane one from a couple months ago. I'm just kind of curious about are you trying to dip your toes more into like putting it out there as like videos and podcast services? Like what goes into like you choosing which show to put on YouTube?
Yeah. So a couple things that we definitely we want to dip our whole body into social media. The fact that we're just toes is like, a struggle of ours. The water's hot, but the we have an editor actually who edits the footage from the shows, um, and that editor, we have to pay this person. Sometimes we don't have enough money to pay this person to put stuff online. We try and post. We post 2 times a week. So you can consistently see reels from the shows. In terms of the long forms, those are kind of more expensive and more intense to edit, and they also require the footage to have been completely uninterrupted and like not messed up during the entirety of the show, which we've been getting a lot better at that happening consistently. We're able to film. We use iPhones clamped to microphone stands. It's super DIY. And so we're handing our editor literally like four videos and a recording from the board, and we're like, put this all together into like a something cool. Um, but yeah, we want to get more into like social media. And then when it comes to like what videos we post and how that kind of works, I do a lot of coordinating with Levi, who is our editor, Levi Erdman, very talented editor. Check him out. And similar to like most things we do in the show, it's kind of a group decision of like the what we're going for. So, before Kylie came on, I was talking a lot with Carson. What clips do we want and stuff like that. And Yeah, so we've had various processes. Right now we have one that's like pretty stable, which is good. It's really like the consistency that's so hard. We're already like super overworked people doing a ton of stuff, so we have to offload it to an editor, and then like you can lose a little bit of that control and that like personal touch when you have an editor that's working for you. So we're still trying to like figure out how to best bring the show to the internet. I mean, we have comments that are like, you should release this weekly. Like this would really help if you release this weekly. And we're like, yeah, I mean, yeah, it would. But we got to sell tickets to like this show coming up. But it's
Mhm.
kind of a chicken and the egg thing because it's like if you're not on social media, you're not selling tickets. So,
Mhm.
uh, you know, but yeah, I don't know if that like totally answers your question about
Well,
how we're doing
it's
social media.
it's getting me thinking about a Wayward World Studios X Dungeons and Drag Queens live event,
Oh, you know what? We would love a live event. We've only done one live event. It was at DreamHack,
hmm
which was fun.
and like
Um,
really like
but
coordinate and like put on Twitch, kind of like Dimension 20. I think that's who they are, Critical Role, like type
yes,
of deal.
yes, yeah. All
Uh,
those.
cool. Well, wait. No, that was a private one. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about that one. Actually, never mind. Never mind. Never mind.
Yeah. Well, you cut off a little bit, so we didn't even get to hear it. So
Perfect. Perfect.
perfect.
Oh, you mean the? No, no, no. Are you talking about the Wizards of the Coast
Yeah,
one?
but you're right. That wasn't live as in like public to the world.
Yeah, we did like a private gig for Wizards of the Coast once, and it was
Oh,
live streamed for Wizards employees specifically. It was a good show. We have some clips from it on our Insta.
I,
Um, but yeah, so yeah, yeah. Let's talk
mhm.
because we're always trying to figure out ways to like let people know. When people know about the show, they're like, "Oh my God, this is the best thing ever."
Mhm.
For
And it's
sure.
just like getting that word out.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially since I feel like when people look up Dungeons and Drag Queens now, they like don't always find us first because of Dimension 20. Um, yes.
Yeah. We'll work
Yeah.
something. I've got the brains and I know people. Let's make something. Let's figure it out after we do like after this
Mhm,
tour.
mhm.
Yeah, I think it could be fun. It would expand my thing too. And then I guess the last question I have for you, Paul, before we. Oh, what would you say, Kylie?
Huh? Oh, I
Would you
said I want to expand your thing, but let's move on.
Um, the last question I have for you, Paul, is where do you where do you see the show? Like, because you're coming up on 5 years. Kind of. I don't know. We didn't really know like how long you guys been doing it, but let's just
Freedom.
say it's like 3 to 5, 4 to 5, 3 to 4. What are numbers? Um,
Mhm.
where do you see yourself in 5 years? Do you feel like you this thing will like keep going? Like, how do you anticipate keeping the energy up from doing the show for another 5 years?
Yeah, well, the one nice thing about this show is that it's always super fun to do. So there is always that. Like, I
Mhm.
mean, we've done so many shows, but I still like have a really good time whenever I play it. So that's good. That's an important thing I think as a performer. Once the show starts feeling stale to you, that's when it starts to be stale to everyone else. But in terms of where we see the show, I'm thinking what's looking more and more likely is kind of a convention track where we're like, um, there are these conventions that happen all over the country. Comic Con, for example, is one of them. They're a great place for performances to happen. And there's also like this huge community of artists and people who like work within that space. And we have an excellent opportunity to integrate a lot of that stuff into our show. So, I mean, I'm imagining one end game is like we're just going around these conventions, featuring like art and items and stuff like that from other people who are on the show floor. And, there's also the kind of live stream element. Um, there's a whole kind of untapped audience of people who want to see the show, but they can't because they're not physically there. So having it live streamed, especially maybe at a convention where they do sometimes have live streaming capabilities kind of locked in, because there's a lot of requirements to do both a live show and a live stream. I mean, those two things happening simultaneously is so, so hard. Um, but to do it well for both people live and on the internet. Uh, but usually they have, the stuff for that. So we could potentially kind of bootstrap off of that. And that just, kind of involves networking and getting to know people and then having a show that's so fun and that they want you back and that it seems robust. Um, and yeah, that's kind of, I think, like probably a good direction to have, but I'm just one of three, in the production team. So we're all kind of in charge of this ship now. We're all steering it. So right now we're just focused on getting that next leg of the tour out and having a great show.
Yeah. Why don't you answer that question, Kylie, since you're also part of the production team of it? Like, where do you see it?
I know I'm still so new to this show, or like new to being on the production team. So I think I would love to see us expand to other cities. I know that's still like such a challenge. It's easier said than done. But I want to tap into like other drag cities that I really love. I want to go to Texas because I didn't get to go to the DreamHacks show. I want to go to LA especially because I have so many friends down there that I think would be so amazing in the show and venues that I really want to perform at there. I'd love to take it like to Toronto. I'd love to take it to who knows across the pond someday. Um, yeah, so the possibilities are endless, but that definitely like yeah, like Paul said, it's a challenge because we all have like other things going on. Like Paul is actually a full-time comedian in his own right. I am a full-time drag queen. Carson like has his music project and a literal child and a family to take care of. So it's just like we'll have to wait and see. But if you want to continue seeing the show grow, you just gotta come check out a show sometime.
Yeah. Well, like that's a good segue to the end of the show. And I just want to say thank you all for being a part of this. This was so much fun. Um,
Yes.
Oh my God,
yeah,
thank you.
of course. Where can people support the show? I know like there are ways to support both of you individually, but is there a way just beyond coming to see the show, obviously on September 20th in Spokane, Washington, at 8 a.m. Doors open at 7 o'clock.
8 p.m.
8 p.m. Did I say a.m.? Oh, yeah, 8 p.m. Yeah.
Yeah, not a breakfast show.
Yeah.
Imagine.
What I was gonna
That'd be
say,
nice.
like, how can people support the show if they can't come to a show?
Yeah, I would say a couple things. We have our social media that we post a lot on and trying to post more on. So you could follow us at DNDQ Live on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube and Facebook. Technically, we have a page.
Mhm.
So check us out on all those platforms. We upload full length videos to YouTube, which you can check out. And so you can see a whole show if you want. And so those are great. Um, leave comments on our work and send us DMs, give us suggestions, stuff like that. I mean, it's an improvised show with infinite potential. So, for example, if like you're an artist and you would like to contribute some artwork to the show, hit us up. We'd love to put your work into the pool of stuff that we can pull from during the adventure. We can offer you like free tickets and various other things for that. Um, and yeah, so I think just like being involved and being tapped in and um, you know, being a nice like online source of engagement on our content would be awesome. Would be tea. So yeah, that's what I would say. And Yeah, technically we have a Patreon. It has no benefits.
Oh,
So if you want to support us, you could, buy us a coffee every month. There's we don't currently have anything in place that like rewards that beyond just like having the show survive. Um, but that exists. Um, and yeah, just keep being awesome.
lovely. And then how can people support the both of you? Whoever wants to go first, like plug their socials.
Cool. Yeah. If you want to support, I'll just keep talking. If you want to support me, I'm at Paul Curry Comedy on Instagram, and I'm at uh, Paul Curry's TikTok on TikTok. You can tell I use it all the time. But yeah, I'm doing a lot of stuff around Seattle mainly in terms of stand up and improv. Um, but every so often I'm around. So check out that if you want to see me live if you're kind of in the PNW area. And yeah, just and also just support me and support the shows. Be an audience member. That's what we love.
Yeah. Your turn, Kylie.
I am Kylie Mooncakes. I am currently a Seattle-based drag queen. Seattle and everywhere else. I like to escape the city when I can. You can find me on Instagram at xmooncakes. I'm also on TikTok. Same at xmooncakes. But TikTok's a little more like chaos and like unfiltered thoughts, whereas like I feel like Instagram is also still chaos and unfiltered thoughts, but a little more like professional too, like pretty pictures of me and like whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah. Just to talk about your TikTok because I'm on your lives and like, girl,
Uh,
you're running late on the lives, texting Caramel like in the middle of it, like Caramel, I'm gonna be late.
Sometimes no, that was one time. That was one time. That was
One
one.
time. Okay. Sure, sure. All right. All
Sorry.
right. That's all right. Well, thank you again, guys. And Wayward Artists, thank you for watching this episode, this very special episode of The Rewind with the cast and production team of Dungeons and Drag Queens Live. You can catch me and Ducky Loveless in the show, along with Kylie Mooncakes and Paul Curry, performing at the Chameleon in Spokane, Washington on September 20th. Doors are 8 p.m. and then 7 o'clock is
Other way around.
no, other way around. Yeah,
Seven
there we
O'Clock
go.
Doors.
7 o'clock doors, 8 o'clock show. There we go. We're gonna have like it's gonna be in the description. You don't have to. You're probably not even gonna listen to this far out. Let's be honest. So we Sid edit that out. Edit that out. Um, but anyway, we're gonna have Paul and Kylie eventually as individual guests on the show to get a little bit more in depth of who they are as people and artists and all that fun stuff on a traditional episode of the Rewind. More on that coming soon. But in the meantime, Wayward Artists, without further ado, it's been real. And we're done, and that was
Oh,
fun.
oh.
Oh, what?
Lagging. You literally again like the last 5 seconds.
No,
Yeah, you lagged for like the last person.
did I didn't feel like I lagged. Did I? Wayward
Well,
Artists, without further ado, it's been real. Did I lag there? Was that better?
it was better. It was better.
There's like a tiny little bit flip
That's so
frame.
Oh,
funny. Why
it,
did it just happen now?
The internet is
girl.
ghosts.
Yeah, now I'm getting the notification that my internet is unstable. So I guess it's am I gone?
That's so funny. I'm glad it happened like at the very end though, not like the
Oh
beginning.
yeah, a few.
Yeah. Okay, am I back?
That's
Like
so
I
funny.
get fiber.
God,
I can't see your
internet.
video.
You're like in and out somewhat, and for me, your video's paused. That is so funny.
That's crazy. Okay, well, we're just gonna have to see what happens when this episode comes out. Well, when I edit this thing and see how it looks. But
Okay.
all right, I'm gonna